So when I say Jack Nicholson, what role comes to mind? For me, it was the one I reviewed with Vincent Price and also Boris Karloff last year. That was a dang good one, but most, shining, or in this case, Chinatown. Adultery is just the beginning. Roman Polanski's Chinatown has evolved from a classic mystery to a landmark film. Screen legend Jack Nicholson breathes life into sharp-tongued private eye Jack Gitts, Gittes. He is hired by a stunning socialite, Faye Dunaway, to investigate her husband, who she suspects of cheating. But what Gitts thinks is a routine case of adultery quickly deteriorates into a tangle of deceit, corruption, and treachery. Even the City of Angels has a dark side, as the private eye is about to find out. He unravels one scandal after the next. The biggest mystery is what and who lies at the heart of it all. Robert Towne's Academy Award-winning script captures a lost air crime drama in this timeless gem of a film. And yes, I am well aware that Leonard Roman Polanski has his everything that has occurred. So yeah, that's why that mother effer is in here, because if he returns to America, he will instantly be arrested. And yeah, that was truly some scumbag, irredeemable, repulsive things that he's done. But I am here to review his movie and also to talk about Jack Nicholson. The whole movie is a tour de force, as Roger Ebert's movie home companion. 100% it is. It's a neo-noir. Like it was when, in my opinion, I think you could say the genre was starting to like gain some traction, going. There's a locomotive that was picking up steam, which led to the whole influx of good to great neo-noirs. And this one, oh my word, it was amazing. I mean, it's like, roughly for the first, I don't know, I would say 20 minutes, we get the introduction of what's going on. Like when he's, like, we get some pictures of two people fornicating in a park. I'm like, okay, so it's going to be the beginning. And then I noticed, so we have sepia tone for the inside, and then colors for the outside. I'm like, okay, so there's this guy named Hollis Mulray, who he gets eliminated in the beginning, and I'm like, okay, so what does that have to do? It's like, well, it has to do with some like water diverting that is going on, where several thousand gallons of water are being just tossed, and there are some farmers who are paying for water they will not receive for their crops. Very specifically, we get to see some orange groves and trees and everything else. And of course, we get Jake Getz, who is hired by Evelyn to figure out what happened to her husband. It's like, okay, so what's going on here? Well, it is a bigger conspiracy that gets unraveled, and everything here works so dang good. I mean, it is the sharp script, and I was wondering, okay, what exactly is the script going on? Well, it has to do with some of the sharp-tongued moments that Getz has, especially when he is describing calling the one of the people like a no good, bleep here, bleep there, like saying a couple swears, and then he turns around and is like, oh, Mrs. I was like, oh, yes, good to meet you. Meanwhile, that his assistants, the Tweedle twins, D and Dumb, were looking at him. One of them looks like JFK. I'm like, okay. In the meantime, I'm like, alright, so what makes this so good? Then we start seeing, it's like, she is hiding Evelyn is hiding some stuff. We get an intrigue of the family, very specifically, where we find out that, like, she's got a father named Noah Cross who has more stuff going on, including but not limited to power, possession. Also, what I read on Wikipedia was like there was an Oedipus complex going on. I'm like, well, things are certainly getting very interesting here. So it's up to our hard-boiled detective to piece together everything that's going on, as the character of Hollis is, even though that he is deceased in the beginning, he has a lasting impact on all the actions going on, as he was trying to discover all the corruption that was happening. But then he himself gets salt water within his lungs, and they're thinking, oh, that he may have drowned. But then more of the pieces come together of the corruption. And what I like to see is the detective work going on by Nicholson, very specifically where he's going through a hall of records, and we get to see this twerp, I guess, who he himself still does hold his own wits against Jake, but our detective manages to ask for a ruler to be able to measure, because he says, like, hey, my vision is bad or something like that. So then he manages to get a ruler from the twerp and cuts a piece of paper of all the people who purchased the land for X amount, including some guy named Casper, who is not a friendly ghost. And was like saying, hey, all these people were deceased 2 weeks ago, but they already signed for a week ago. So yeah, obviously there's forgery going on. All the meanwhile, our hero manages to gets in touch with, he sees some of the farmers that was going on, of where the water in Albuquerque, there's water in Arizona. It's going to be taken over to LA, and I'm just like, yeah, we get the intrigue going on and everything. Whew. It's a lot going on, and I'm just like, yes, but you can also follow it at the same time. And then again, when with Raymond himself adding touches, even making a cameo of a guy holding a knife, in which he actually manages to cause a marking on Jake's schnoz that we see. He even has a certain little signature look to it, as you can tell right there it is, there's the injured schnoz. And it's just the escalation of everything, and especially when we get to the end, we're thinking, oh, we're going to get a happy ending. No, it's revealed that, it's like Catherine is actually, there's this woman named Catherine that is actually both the daughter and sister of Evelyn, because Noah Cross kind of, I'm trying to remember, because it was just a heck of a movie, but it's like 1:15 in the morning as I'm reviewing this, and it's just the whole family intrigue and everything. And Noah Cross himself, played amazingly by John Huston, the director of The Maltese Falcon. Just the speech that he delivers, what he does to keep himself in power. And at the end, when they finally get to Chinatown, he has some of his associates eliminate Evelyn, and then finally Jack manages to get free, but Jake, and he is like shaken up. He said, forget it, Jake, it's Chinatown. I'm wondering why Chinatown. Well, everything going on in like Hong Kong and everything, very specifically, and I guess you could even consider Kowloon Wall City, which was a town for the gambling, the drug trading, and the triad, the Chinese mafia, in which the high-rise buildings are so crowded, it goes 12 feet tall, so you can't see any sunlight, so it's almost like the rainforest in the canopy, I guess you could say. Maybe, like the laundry that's being dried and everything else, but even at the same time, it had its own good school systems, economy, and small hospitals, so I guess they were kind of taking care of each other. But the police themselves may have caused some more damage because of the multiple dialects, Cantonese and whatever languages that I don't know much about of China, that the cops wouldn't be able to understand all the dialects, so they may have actually contributed more to the problems of it than they perceived, and which ultimately is just saying, hey, there's just too much corruption going on. It's just way too many pathways, diverting pathways, so you really can't even follow the, you can't even do a root cause analysis, pardon the pun, of all the crimes going on. So which ultimately just leads to, like, just forget it, This was like, just forget it, Jake, just Chinatown. So yeah, obviously, Nicholson's performance is legendary. With the way how he's at once sympathetic, both sympathetic. He's got the sharp tongue and the investigation, which leads to a multi-layered character. There was a scene in which that at Dunaway's insistence, saying, "Hey, Nicholson, please slap me for real," to capture the intensity of the scene, which he does. But obviously he felt very guilty about it. But she insisted. So it was like, say what you will about that. It was for the sake of the movie. And yes, Polanski did get into arguments with Nicholson and Dunaway, and because that things got so heated that Polanski actually broke a TV that Nicholson would watch sports on. But ultimately, it led to the tension. It led to the truly legendary movie. This being one of the greatest movies of the 20th century, and even put into the film. That thing that gets represented in 1991, the Film Preservation Society. So yeah, 100%. In my opinion, all the film bros out there that watch The Dark Knight, Taxi Driver, Drive, Fight Club, amongst many others, I think that this should be included. Chinatown, mandatory watch.